I prayed every single night from age 11 that God would cure me, that He would fix me, that He would heal me, that I would wake up the next morning and not feel these same temptations and attractions that I went to bed feeling. And inevitably I would wake up on my knees or with the Bible across my chest the same way, morning after morning, feeling the same way, if not worse, about the struggles that I was facing. And I was very much afraid that God hated me, that He condemned me. In fact, I used to walk down the hallway every single night to my parents' bedroom and touch the edge of their bed just to make sure that they hadn't been raptured or taken to heaven and me left behind because of my struggles. When other boys taunted me, I internalized it, and I would beat myself up for it because I knew what they were saying was true. And I was a sissy, I was a fag, I was all of those things, and it only made me feel worse about myself and treat myself worse, to the point that I wouldn't want to be around me either if I had the choice. And at the same time, those boys who would tease me, I desperately wanted their attention, I desperately wanted their affection, I desperately wanted their affirmation, and so I would dream about being friends with them. You know, as time went on, I dreamed about being sexual with them because I desperately wanted a connection with the boys who were the ideal, the ones who were the perfect boys, the ones who looked a certain way, acted a certain way, and had certain characteristics, and I dreamed about being with them. The characteristics that I dreamed about in other boys, or the things that I was attracted to in other boys, were very much the things that I was lacking in my own life. You know, a certain physique, a certain look, a certain way of behaving, you know, charisma, all of those things. I would look at boys who I wanted to be like, and those were the boys that I wanted to be with. And it was very much a mirror image of what my deficit was what I was looking for. I did feel unlovable. I did feel defective. I did hate myself because I wasn't like the boys that I thought were the ideal. I wasn't like the ones who were popular. I was just this mistake over in the corner who was desperately trying to be something that he could never attain. You know, I was so fearful of God as a child. I was fearful of my feelings. I was fearful of how He would react to my struggle with homosexuality. So I tried to be the perfect boy. I tried to read the Bible all the time. I tried to pray all the time. I tried doing all of these things that would make me acceptable to God. But when I got older, probably into high school, is when I started to feel an intense anger towards God. How dare He create me with these feelings and yet condemn those same feelings in His scriptures? How dare He do that? And for me, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand that He didn't create me that way. What I couldn't understand was why He would allow these feelings to develop if they were so bad. If He was the God of the universe, if He was all-knowing and all-powerful, how did I end up with these feelings? I didn't ask for them. I didn't want them. I was a good kid. Why did I feel these things? And that did ultimately lead me to cursing God and screaming out and rebelling against Him. I thought from the moment I understood that I was struggling with homosexuality that I was going to hell because of my struggle. 1 Corinthians 6, 9, and 10 was very clear about the people who wouldn't inherit the kingdom of God. And it said very clearly there, homosexuals don't go to heaven. And I thought, I'm a homosexual because of my feelings. Therefore, I'm not going to heaven, which is what led me every night to pray that God would fix me. I came to the place where I wanted help, and I sought help out about the age of 18. But at the same time, I realized I hadn't really found out what gay life had to offer. I hadn't found out what was out there waiting for me beyond the boundaries of my home life, beyond the boundaries of my Christian upbringing. And when I found the gay community and I found gay bars and anonymous encounters and gay relationships, it was like I'd opened an amazing gift, and it was exciting and it was fun, and I did rebel against God, but at the same time, my fear came back every single night. I would leave the gay bar or leave a gay encounter or a relationship or you name it, and I would pray that God would forgive me. I pray that He would fix me, change me, do whatever it took to make me acceptable to Him the next day, because even though I was rebelling against Him, even though I was living in willful disobedience, I knew what was right. I had too much of the truth in me to think I could ever be happy in homosexuality. Homosexuality for me was something I struggled with from an early age, and it was almost as if I had been handicapped my whole life. And the thing that people pulled out and made fun of me for, my handicap, so to speak, when I found the gay community, that was the very thing they thought was so good about me. They said, it was almost like I had been in a wheelchair my whole life, and they said, because you're in a wheelchair, that's why we love you. The thing that's so unacceptable about you to society or to your friends, or what they perceive as unacceptable, is what makes you acceptable to us, and we love you for that, and we embrace that, and we think you should embrace that. And so it was very deceptive. It was something that was intriguing to me. I couldn't understand why anyone would love me, and when these people did, it meant the world to me. And I wish that's what I had found in the church initially, because I wouldn't have delved into homosexuality in the way that I did. Gay bars, gay clubs, gay encounters, anonymous places where sexual encounters happened, those were all things that I jumped headlong into to try to fill that need and that void that was so present in my life. And I was looking for the missing piece of my life's puzzle in the arms of another man. And I went anywhere and everywhere to find that. And at times I thought I had, but those relationships always ended. I would find someone that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, and they wouldn't be interested in me because I didn't fit the missing piece of their life's puzzle. I didn't fit that stereotype that they were looking for. And we were a bunch of broken people looking for something to fix us, and we couldn't find it. And I tried hard, and it didn't work. One of the things that led me out of homosexuality were the people that we called trolls. The old men who were the last ones out of the bar at night, the ones who closed down the bar, who would go home with anything that was left in the bar just so they wouldn't have to go home alone. And I remembered sitting in a bar in Orlando, Florida in 1991, and it was about midnight, 12:30, and the bars were about to close, and these old men were all trying to come up to me and ask me to come home with them. And I just thought, how pathetic. I don't want to be anywhere near these men. And how sad that these men, who some of them were my father's age, which was much older than me, 40, 50 years older than me, how sad that they are alone at that stage in their life. How sad that they're trying to find anything and everything to go home with them just so they don't have to be by themselves. And I thought, I don't want to be like that. And it wasn't at that point that I decided to do something about it, but God began to use that as something that led me to a place where I thought, homosexuality is for the young, and I'm not going to be young forever. I'm not going to be good looking forever. I'm not going to have hair forever. I'm not going to have this physique forever or be in fashion forever. And when I'm not, will I be like them? Please, God, don't let that be my story.